Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, there's another WMDs happening. It's well, here it is. We'll play for. Here's how MSNBC covered it.
The British Prime Minister taking a hard line in front of the House of Commons today as the U.S. closest ally clashes with Russia. The Prime Minister moved to kick, as you heard, those 23 Russians who she labeled as spies out of the country in retaliation for this nerve gas poisoning of a former Russian double agent and his daughter on British soil. The UK is confident Moscow is behind the attack. A sentiment U.S. ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, echoed strongly today.
No evidence. None. This is WMDs all over again. This is trust us. That's all this is. Here we go.
Let me make one thing clear from the very beginning. The United States stands in absolute solidarity with Great Britain. The United States believes that Russia is responsible for the attack on two people in the United Kingdom using a military-grade nerve agent.
That right there today on New York's East Side is notable because we have not heard the president condemn Russia.
So here comes MSNBC attacking Trump from the right. He hasn't been more bellicose. He hasn't saber-rattled with Russia yet. Why isn't he saber-rattled with Russia? Why doesn't he pick a fight? Why doesn't he go off the handle before an investigation with a nuclear power?
He's been reluctant in the past to criticize the Kremlin. New York Times headline puts it this way tonight. Trump, pressured to criticize Russia for poisoning, leaves comment to aides. They're correct in that the statement tonight is from the White House press office. Quote, this latest action by Russia fits into a pattern of behavior in which Russia disregards the international rules.
The international rules. You mean like how when we disregard them whenever we frickin' feel like it? We have a drone we have the biggest terrorist program in the world happening. It's called our drone program. We bomb in other people's countries. That's like not normal. We invaded Iraq, killed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. That's not normal. We did the same thing in Libya. We're doing the same thing in Syria. We're funding ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Those are also not normal. It's just amazing, right? Once you put a little bit of a critical eye on of our government and our news. And by the way, that goes right past him, Brian Williams, by the way.
Order undermines the sovereignty and security of countries worldwide and attempts to subvert and discredit Western democratic institutions and processes. Now, for more on this, Malcolm Nance is back with us. He's the man who wrote the book on this before we knew what it was.
Now, Malcolm Nance, I have no idea why people turn to him as because he wrote this book, I guess. This guy's a knucklehead. Here we go.
The plot to hack America, how Putin cyber spies and WikiLeaks tried to steal the 2016 election. Malcolm's also a veteran of Navy intelligence, special ops, homeland security, 35 years working in the counterterrorism and intelligence business. He is our analyst in this area. Malcolm, let's do this as a lightning round. Any doubt in your mind this is the Russians?
No, without any doubt. The weapon system that they deployed, the Novichok nerve virus, which is 8 times more virulent than VX. VX is the nerve gas that Kim Jong-un had his half-brother assassinated with in Kuala Lumpur. This is a attack by Russia using state weapon systems.
So it's so powerful, it's 8 times more powerful than what Kim Jong-il used to kill his half-brother, that they're not dead. They're not even dead. And we don't even know what the chemical was that they used. And that guy's just making up stuff. This guy just... So does the CIA even need to call up MSNBC? They don't even need to call them. They're already doing their bidding. Oh, by the way, Salisbury poisoning, UK experts cannot prove Novichok nerve agent used on Skripals came from Russia. Minister of Defense says...
So I'm sure Brian Williams will do a retraction.
I'm sure he'll retract.
Probably tonight he'll do a retraction.
Probably tonight. Probably tonight. Well, we have not identified the precise source, but we have provided the scientific info to government, who have then used a number of other sources to piece together the conclusions. Sounds like WMDs all over again. You know why? Because it is. Accusations and recrimination. So in order for you to think that Russia did this, they had this guy in prison. They could have killed him then. They didn't. They did it. He's a double agent, meaning he'll sell out his country for money. The spy that it isn't dead, by the way. So this spy is a double agent, which means he has no loyalty to anybody who has money. He'll sell out his country and he'll sell out another country. So that's who this spy is. They had him in prison in Russia, and then they did a spy swap. So that's why he's in the UK. They did a spy swap. Now, if you remember, Putin is a former spy himself, just like George Herbert Walker Bush was the head of the CIA. Same thing with Putin. So now if you do a spy swap, then you kill the spy you just swapped, it kind of is going to put a damper on your next spy swaps. So Putin would have more interest in spy swaps working and keeping the norms in place around spy swaps, because he comes from the intelligence community himself, and he knows how important that is to the intelligence community. So that's why, it doesn't make sense that they would kill this guy after they could have killed him when they had him. They let him go in a spy swap. Then they're going to kill him? By the way, they didn't even kill him. Isn't it funny when the CIA wants to kill somebody, they drop him out of a window or hit him over the head? But when Putin, super duper smarty pants guy who can undermine our election, wants to kill somebody, he does it in such an amateur way that you can trace it directly back to Putin without even an investigation. Before you even do an investigation, everybody knew it was him. I'll give you the double CK on that one. Does that and then you have to believe that Putin would do this right before a presidential election and right before the soccer World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. Is it still possible that the Russians did it? It is still possible. But if it was true and you were sure they did it, why would you rush to judgment? Why wouldn't you go, we're going to do an investigation? And when we have that conclusion of that investigation, we're going to let you know. No, because same reason why George Bush got rid of the inspectors. Because that's not what this is about.
Yeah, the video clip we watched is from March.
Yeah.
This article came out in April where they're saying, we still don't have any conclusions yet.
Yeah, still.
And we still, right. And this research facility is a UK research facility,
right,
too. It's not like, as people are like, well, there's Russian propaganda. They're trying to make us think they didn't do it.
Right.
Well, no, this is a UK research facility. They're just trying to figure out what went down.
And you know what else is suspicious, Ron, is when someone calls for a rational response to this, like Jeremy Corbyn,
mm-hmm,
they're immediately smeared.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it, that's how you know it's bullshit. Why would you smear a guy who asks for evidence? There's no point. You wouldn't need to do that if you had the evidence. You wouldn't need to do it. Accusations and recriminations between Britain and Russia are set to escalate with the news that scientists at the Portendown Military Research Facility have been unable to establish exactly where the Novichok nerve agent used to carry out the Skripal attack was manufactured. The admission comes the day before Moscow convenes an emergency meeting of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, the OPCW, in The Hague, in which it is expected to demand access to samples from Salisbury poisoning for analysis by Russian scientists, because they're not giving anybody the samples of this poison they have. Russia's embassy in London responded that Portendown's assessment proves that all political declarations on the Russian origin of the crime are nothing but assumptions, not stemming from objective facts or the course of the investigation. That seems pretty obvious. The development also comes after Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov suggested that the British intelligence services carried out the attempted assassination of the former MI6 agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia, and claimed that it had proved beneficial in distracting attention from Theresa May's government having to make major concessions to the European Union on Brexit. That makes more sense. I don't know if that's true, but that makes more sense. You have to ask yourself, who benefits? Who benefits from this? Not Russia. That's what you have to ask. Who benefits? Okay. The organization for the, it's called the
Prohibition of
the
chemical weapons.
Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons is due to present its own conclusion on the nerve agent in the near future. So why don't we wait for that?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll start kicking people out of our country. We'll start kicking Russian spies out and diplomats, and we'll start saber rattling and doing everything. Why don't we wait for that? And by the way, who gives a shit that they killed? I don't understand why this is a big deal. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We're killing people every day, 100 by the thousands. What? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I mean, this has been amplified and selected, and
They
we
just killed
shot first and asked later.
How many black guys have been killed by cops on film in America since this happened? Right?
Jeez.
We ain't kicking anybody out of our country over it. We're even prosecuting the cops who do it. It remains to be seen whether we'll be able to provide definite proof that the Novichok came from Russia government facility or echo the Porton down position. So there you go. It all smells like BS to me. It all smells like WMDs all over again. And if it wasn't, why wouldn't they just wait for the result of the investigation by the OPCW? Why wouldn't they just do that? Right?
Yeah, well, and it's really frustrating to see other worldwide powers now engage in tension, all because of our Russia hysteria.
Yes.
Because that's what this can all be traced back to.
That's exactly right. And so they get a bunch of things out of it, too. They get a bunch of things out of it. And, wow, this is really something.
Well, MSNBC is enjoying the ratings, and I'm sure they're not going to retract anything.
No.
Without a doubt, we know. Yep, we know. Oh,
hey,
just
now
kidding.
we turn to we turn to proven liar Brian Williams to give us the truth about what's happening in the Russian poisoning thing. Let's go to proven liar and suit model Brian Williams.
Live with his missile fetish.
Please make sure you're subscribed, even though you think you are. You're probably not. It only takes a second to check, and then you got to ring that bell. And if you ring that bell, they'll send you a notice when we drop a video. Right now, they're probably not even sending you notices when they just do that. And if you can come see our live show June 30th in Portland, there's a link for tickets under there. And become a patron. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Thanks for your support. We're on Steam It. We're steaming it right now.